Today we have special guest Adam Behringer. Adam is one of our restaurant coaches. He's got a really cool story. I'll give him a quick introduction and then he can make it even better. But long story short, Adam became a client of Donald's a while back, and the program works so well for him, where now he is a coach himself, teaching other restaurants how to implement all the techniques. I believe Adam has had just a really great experience with the whole thing, and Adam's also a great coach too. So on the webinar today, he's going to be talking about some budget-friendly ways to attract and retain top talent, obviously in a really important aspect of running any business. So Adam, I hope I nailed that introduction. You can take it from here.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Luke. Thank you so much. And welcome everybody to the Wednesday Restaurant Growth Seminar Series. As Luke mentioned, my name's Adam Behringer. I am a TRC Method certified restaurant coach. And today we're going to review, really, this is a presentation that I gave at the National Restaurant Show in Chicago. And it's budget-friendly ways to attract and retain top talent. A little bit about me. I'm graduate of the University of Central Florida. I've got a master's degree in entrepreneurial ventures and a PhD in leadership of organizations from Capella University. I spent 14 years as a managing partner with Outback Steakhouse and Bonefish Grill. I opened the first Outback in the 5 boroughs of New York City. Then I left the corporate world, and in 2006, I founded Sonapa Grill, where we specialize in serving wines from Sonoma County, Napa Valley, complemented with a chef-inspired Northern California cuisine. Sonapa has grown since opening to 3 locations on the east coast of Florida, supported by a team of 150 employees, and we are approaching $9 million in sales. Now, beyond the business realm, I served as mayor of my hometown of New Smyrna Beach from 2009 to 2014. And in my spare time, I compete as a triathlete. I've competed in over 50 triathlons, including Ironman and ultra distant races. And September 30th, I've got a half Ironman coming up in Augusta, Georgia. I've been inspired to become a certified restaurant coach after working with Donald Burns and achieving what I consider to be life-changing results. So, some house rules. Learning is always best if you're having fun, so have fun. If you have a question, ask questions. I'll certainly do my best to answer them. And then hashtag WTSD, write this shit down. Research has shown that by writing something down, you're 70% more likely to remember it 30 days from now. All right. So the TRC method, for some of you, you may know it, some of you may not. In the Accelerator program, which is offered through Restaurant Growth, we follow what is known as the TRC method framework. This framework is a proven business model that has been tested over the last 14 years with Donald Burns, 2,800 restaurants and counting, and in 23 different countries. Basically, this thing works. And we got a saying that says, if you want to win the game, you got to follow the frame. All right, the Accelerator 2.0 TRC method is like a combination lock. The lock will only open when you have the combination in the right sequence. And as an independent restaurant owner, you'll want to change the combination around. And I can tell you with 100% certainty that it only works when you have the proper combination and in the right sequence. Several months after opening our 3rd restaurant, we began to see cracks in our foundation, which I will go into a little bit in depth later. But 2 of our restaurants were doing good, yet 1 was dragging down our entire company. I felt that we have the combination, a great product, many great employees, and good processes, but we didn't have the sequence. We didn't have the right sequence. We finished 2023 with 8.6 million in sales, and we were just about break-even profitability. 6 months into the Accelerate program, following the frame, we now average 10 to 12% company-wide profitability. The combination in the right sequence unlocks success. So the combination is always people, product, process. And inside each of those, you can see there's a series of mini locks that you got to follow once again to unlock that area. So in the people part, it's always assessments or mindset, as in your mindset, core values, and hiring. And then you get into the product part, and it's always food costs, menu design. And once you have that down, then you can unload marketing. And in the process, it's always systems, then strategic planning, and then double-digit profits. And if you ever get stuck, the 3P framework is the roadmap to getting unstuck. You don't have a hiring problem, you have a culture and mindset problem. You can't attract better talent until you fix the culture. And that starts with fixing your mindset. This was something that I certainly had an issue with when I first started the program. And the same thing with marketing. You don't want to open up the floodgates of marketing if you don't have a highly profitable menu. And you won't know if you have a highly profitable menu if you don't understand your food cost. And that's all laid out in the Accelerator 2.0 3P framework. So today, on this call, we're going to jump into the people phase of the 3P framework, touching on mindset, culture, and hiring. So again, budget-friendly ways to attract and retain top talent. I had the opportunity to speak at the 2024 National Restaurant Show in Chicago, May of this year. The topic was budget-friendly ways to attract and retain top talent. And this is the first time I spoke at the restaurant show. I was thinking, who's going to sign up for this? And it was the first presentation on a Saturday morning. Believe it or not, it was a hot topic. We had about 50 people attend the seminar, and most independent restaurant owners cited this as a major concern. In fact, according to the 2024 National Restaurant Association's State of the Industry report, 45% of restaurants don't have enough employees to support customer demand. 9 out of 10 restaurant operators saying being understaffed has had a significant impact on the restaurant's ability to grow and be successful. And I can tell you, we experienced that firsthand. And I just finished a podcast. Our podcast is called Grapes and Debates. We had Chef Eric Amalfitano from a company called Outriggers here in New Smyrna Beach. And he stated his number one issue is his ability to staff the restaurant. And I will add that if you want to expand or grow your restaurant, you better have well-trained staff that you can promote from within. All right, empty tables aren't the only thing that can hurt your bottom line. The National Restaurant Association estimates the average restaurant loses $150,000 yearly in staff turnover. And that same average restaurant now is only making 4% profitability, and I was mentioning this to Luke earlier, 38% of all restaurants nationally are breaking even and losing money. Those are staggering statistics. According to Center for Hospitality Research at Cornell University, losing a frontline employee is $5,800. And you got to think, is that really true? Firsthand experience, I can tell you it's really true. It's actually $5,864. And what's included, according to their research, $176 in departure cost, $1,173 in recruiting cost, $645 on selection cost, $821 on orientation, and just over $3,000 on lost productivity, training, cross-training. If you take that number and multiply it by the number of employees your restaurant turns over annually, you'll have a better idea of what your turnover rate is. Probably some nightmares too. All right, back to when we opened our third location, we experienced high turnover. In fact, when we opened our third location, we opened in March of 2022. We had an incredible opening, Jacksonville Beach, Florida. However, 8 months into the opening, we began to notice some cracks in our foundation. By November of 2022, our front of house manager resigned due to her inability to work with our general manager. In response to her departure and employee feedback, low profitability, high turnover, we ended up terminating our general manager. This was mid-November of 2022, leading up to the week of Thanksgiving. So my business partner, who's our director of operations, he and I decided, let's just rent a house near the restaurant, work through the holiday season, and right this ship. Our plan was to work through the first of the year, then enlist the services of a recruiting company and hire a new management team. Fast forward to February of 2023, finally hired a GM, and he began his training March 1st. By June, we were able to return to somewhat of a normal life. So instead of staying at the rental home, we returned to our homes and began to commute. Up to this point, the cost of just the GM, we had recruiting costs. We had to pay 15% of the GM's salary, training, 3 months of training, plus the onboarding expensive. Then you have the impact of employee morale, and this is kind of a long-term impact. We also had the impact on our restaurant's culture. Again, long-term impact. Minimal cost of uniforms, embroidered shirts for the new GM, a chef jacket, and then in our case, the cost of renting a home, and then auto expenses for commuting. And I think one of the biggest long-term impacts was my credibility as the founder, because I signed off on hiring the front of house manager and GM. So there was a lot of costs involved with this turnover. So I say, hashtag write this shit down. I estimate it cost us north of $100,000 by hiring and terminating a bad GM, and then hiring a new one. Employee turnover is the most significant hidden cost in the restaurant business. And I hope this figure alone underscores the importance of effective hiring and employee retention strategies. And I hope by now I've made my point as to why it's important to properly hire and to reduce employee turnover. All right, so once we hired the new GM, we stayed at the rental house less and less and began to commute back and forth. And I was talking to Luke earlier. It was during this 90-minute commute that I decided to listen to something other than the Joe Rogan Experience. I found a book entitled Your Restaurant Sucks. I actually like the title. I like the writing style. I like the tone of the book as well as the content. I had our entire leadership team begin listening to the book. Then we began listening to Your Restaurant Still Sucks and Your Restaurant Culture Sucks. We were able to implement many of the suggestions, but we were still experiencing low profits and turnover at our Jack's location. And I'd never heard of a restaurant coach. I mean, I've heard of life coaches. I've had a triathlon coach, but I've never heard of a restaurant coach. But for some reason, the books resonated with me, and I decided to schedule a call with Donald Burns, and he accepted us as a client. And I don't know, what was so different about our Jack's Beach location compared to our other two stores? And Donald asked, do you have a mission statement? I said, no. Well, do you have a vision statement? Again, no. I mean, I kind of knew what our mission was. I kind of knew what vision I had, but it wasn't written anywhere. Our employees didn't know it. Do you have a set of core values? No. How about non-negotiables? These were all questions that really kind of hit home. Like, damn, I thought I knew what I was doing in this business. So Donald suggested that we go into the Accelerator program. And in the Accelerator 2.0 TRC method, people are the foundation of the restaurant. So the first part of the people framework is mindset, and mostly as in the owner's mindset. And I knew I had to change some of my limiting beliefs and be open to new ways of approaching restaurant leadership. And the next in the people framework is culture, learning how important it is to write down, to codify your culture, starting with a mission statement, core values, vision, and creating a culture card. And I got to tell you, I was really thinking, seriously, this seems like some hokey kind of shit. But I decided, all right, change my limiting beliefs. Let's go with this and see what happens. And I can tell you what I've learned is that number one, a strong mission statement communicates your company's purpose and its values, attracting candidates who share similar ideals. The mission statement also sets a tone for your restaurant's culture and expectations, and this clarity can enhance job satisfaction and loyalty. And when employees feel they're contributed to a mission that they believe in, they're more likely to stay with your restaurant, thus reducing turnover. So I truly believe that a well-articulated mission statement is more than just some plaque you put on the wall. It is truly a fundamental tool for building a dedicated and cohesive workforce. So we worked pretty diligently with our leadership team. We crafted a mission statement and our core values. We presented it to all of our employees, all 3 locations at all employee meetings. We let our employees know that we were working with a coach, why we were working with a coach, and we were brutally honest with them. Their buy-in was amazing. This has been instrumental in changing the culture of our restaurant company, and it has a positive, absolutely positive impact on profitability. So here, this is a copy of what our culture card is, and it's our mission, it's our core values, and this is the foundation truly for any successful business, restaurant or not. So our mission is what we do and how we do it. And the what we do, we delight our guests and create lasting memories. And how do we do that? By transporting them to the heart of California wine country through a dining experience that combines wines from Sonoma County, Napa Valley, complemented with a chef-inspired Northern California cuisine, served in a warm, inviting atmosphere. So that is our mission statement. It is what we do, it's how we do it. Our core values are based on our company slogan. So our company slogan is Taste, Toast, Together. And then we creatively use the word taste as an acronym for our core values. And taste is trust. Basically, we foster trust through transparency, allegiance, loyalty to each other, to the brand by embracing our core values. Strength is doing the right things even when shit's hitting the fan. I mean, we really don't say that on a core value. I'm just telling you that's kind of how it is. Teamwork is one team, one fight. It's always us against the competition. It's not front of house against back of the house. It's not prep crew against night crew. It's one team, one fight, us against the competition. And then excellence, we strive for exceptional results and to be 1% better every day. And why are all these important? Because employees that work in a positive culture have a higher job satisfaction. They enjoy coming to work. They feel valued. They feel appreciated for the work that they do. This satisfaction is a strong deterrent against looking for a job elsewhere, and they ask their friends to come and work with them. Cultures that prioritize trust and transparency foster strong relationships between their members and management. When employees trust their leaders and understand their company's direction, they're more confident in their roles and they tend to remain. Finally, a positive work environment that encourages teamwork among coworkers makes employees feel part of that team, and their workplace becomes more than just a job, therefore reducing turnover rates. So all in all, this works, and it helps reduce turnover. Next, we crafted a list of non-negotiables. And non-negotiables in a restaurant's culture are essentially fundamental values and practices that the restaurant insists on upholding. This is the line in the sand. And it should be maybe 10 or 15s that you consider to be in line in the sand. And then you create trigger phrases based on that. For example, we do it the right way, not the easy way. That's called strength. We don't talk on our cell phones, and I know this is a big thing. We don't talk on our cell phones where a guest can see or especially hear us. We have an area that's called the phone zone. So if we ever say, hey, phone zone, that's called respect and professionalism. We always keep our work area clean and organized at all times. And our trigger phrase is show ready. That's called professionalism. These non-negotiables act as the pillar of our culture, guiding behavior and to ensure that everybody remains productive. This, coupled with our mission and core value, I'm telling you, it's so powerful. It's the number one thing that we have done to change the culture in our restaurant. All right, moving on. The next phase in the people framework is the talent attraction method. And this module is kind of to change your mindset. It certainly changed my mindset to some of the outdated tactics to attract, hire, and onboard and attain top talent. 80% of all restaurant problems are people problems. So one thing we learned is be slow to hire, but quick to fire. If you have a C or D player, you need to get them out of there. So recruiting, you got to have a plan. So there's internal and external. Internally, we kind of already discussed having a good culture, but then also rewarding employees who refer their friends. And we have it, it's set at $500. So $100 if we hire somebody, orientate them, bring them on board. So it's $100 after 1 week of being with us. And then another $100 after 30 days. And then we give them a really big bonus. It's $300 after 60 days. So having that internal mechanism, because if you have good employees, you want them to bring other good employees to work with them. Externally, Indeed. We use Indeed recruiting versus a job ad. If you place a job ad on Indeed, you're placing an ad and then hoping a candidate is going to contact you. And hope is not a good strategy. We actually use the subscription-based, it's called Indeed Resume. It allows us to target potential candidates who have just recently updated their resumes. And I think our subscription, we're able to target 30 people every month. And so if someone has recently updated their resume, they may not be looking for a job, but you know that they must be unhappy or else they wouldn't be updating their resume. We review their resumes. So essentially we're pre-screening them that they don't even know that. And if they seem like a fit, we'll send them an email before they begin to look. Next, make a career video or take pictures of your employees, and then you can use those as a Google ad to promote. And I'll get into that a little bit more. Next, money, competitive pay. It is crucial for the initial attraction to a job. If you want to attract top talent, you got to pay for it. If you want to pay C wages, you're going to get C players. If you want to pay A wages, you're going to attract A players. Now, having said that, in order to keep top talent, it's not always about money. You have to offer opportunities for learning, advancement, meaningful contribution. These are going to be the drivers for motivation that lead to greater employee engagement, productivity, and retention. And when you are out there recruiting, you got to highlight some of the benefits of working for your company. We're all pulling from the same talent pool. So what benefits do you offer that make your restaurant a better choice than the competition? For us, I mean, yeah, we offer employee meals, half-price meals, but we're closed on Sundays. We're nights only. and we do offer competitive benefits for our management and full-time employees. Job ad templates. It's always about the potential employee. So you need to write your job ad in the first person. So writing it in the first person, it helps potential candidates connect with the role on a personal level as if they're already picturing themselves in the job. And this can make the job listing stand out in a sea of standard and impersonal third-person descriptions. And overall, writing the job template in the first person can make a restaurant's job openings seem more appealing and related, basically targeting the person who's going to fit your culture. And I have a quick example of that right here. I don't know if we can see that. Luke, can you see that?
Yep, we can see it just fine. Yep.
So we're on careers, and so it's in the first person. Do you love food as much as wine as much as we do? Are you somebody who loves our community? Are you somebody who loves working in a learning environment? Are you somebody who loves working in a fast-paced environment? We want you. Come join our fabulous, fun-loving team here at So Napa Grill. So this is just something that's it's important. And if they click on the apply now, it takes them to, again, do you love food and wine as much as we do? And we just continue on with that. And then if you view all, and we'll just click on server, again, we have our mission statement. So they understand what our mission statement is. And then, reports to our leadership team, summary of the position. What am I responsible for? I will. So this is them picturing themselves in the job. I will greet my guests. I will guide my guests. I will make heartfelt recommendations. So anyway, this is something that's very important, and I feel it's helped us tremendously in our recruiting efforts. Okay. Next up, social media. Hopefully, everybody's on social media. Put your team front and center for videos, awareness campaigns, showcase team members who advance within the company on your career page. We've attracted probably half a dozen employees since we really started engaging on social media, saying that they've seen our employees having fun and it seems like a really fun place to work. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Google, YouTube. And again, some people are against TikTok, but I can tell you that is where all of our employees are. On Instagram, let me just click on this real quick. So one team, one fight. Yeah, I don't know what, here we go. Again, just having your team really front and center on your social media, it has a big impact on recruiting. And then again, Facebook, I'll get into Google Ads, and then we also have videos on YouTube. I think it's probably close to the same video. Not this one. This is advertising.
Place and has given me so many opportunities. Our goal at So Napa Grill is to bring new flavors, great hospitality, and amazing wines to you in a warm, inviting atmosphere. And
It's always been extremely important to me to work for a company that I believe invests in their employees. And here at Sonapa Grill, no matter what position you hold, we do that 110%. I love coming to work every day because I know anything that I want to achieve is possible.
Sonapa has allowed me a quality of life and time with my family that I was never able to achieve with any other company, and I'm grateful for it. We have a team that I'm proud to be a leader of and proud to work alongside of every day. Taste those together. Cheers.
I love working for Sonapa because it just feels like family. Everyone really fits in together. I love my management team. They're great. They love all of us. I'm recently a single mom, and it works out really well for my schedule. They always work with me, and everyone takes care of me and my kids, and it's just a really nice environment.
At the end of the day, it's all about building an unforgettable guest experience.
So again, social media, it's so important. It's so important for recruiting.
I'm going to show you how to get those
really
good shots when you're using gimbal, because it's like when you're first buying gimbal, you don't know how to actually operate a gimbal. But I'm going to try to
We'll stop share for a minute here, people.
So that you can get some really cinematic shots.
The video is so good where you want to see it again.
Apparently, right?
Yeah.
Hang on a second.
Yeah, it's something I don't see a lot of restaurants doing actually, is just showing their staff and like showing the human element of that. I think it's like just really simple. But like you said, especially the younger generation these days, they're going to places like TikTok, like Instagram, not only to just search for places to eat, but also for employment. And so, the kids, the high school kids, the college kids, they want to work at the cool place. And if you have a decent presence on the social media, or at least showing what it's like to work there, obviously just builds a lot of extra trust with those prospects too. So I definitely like that.
Yep. All right, I'm getting ready to share my screen again here.
There we go.
We all good?
Yep, we can see it.
Yeah, now I got to go all the way back to where I was. User error, people.
It happens.
All right, here we go. Back to where we wanted to be. Okay, so the next thing is sort of a Google ad hack for recruiting and advertising and marketing at the same time. So you can see here that we have a campaign. We've had 9.5 thousand impressions, just under 6,000 views. We've had 8 website visits. Of those 8 website visits, we've hired 2 people from that, and it cost us $110. And with the with the Google ad, you can set a budget. So we have a budget of $2 a day. This is the ad. It's essentially the ad that you just saw, and you're able to pick the location. So we picked Jacksonville, Florida, Edgewater, Florida, Jacksonville Beach, and New Smyrna Beach, and Ormond Beach. In addition to that, you can select the interests. So on the interests, you could job vacancies, LinkedIn job postings, leisure, hospitality jobs, professional chefs, employment opportunities. So we were able to create this job and post it on Google Ads and then promote it at $2 a day. But with that, we've hired 2 people. So think of the recruiting costs on that. Pretty cost effective. And then we posted this stuff on YouTube. And we just saw that, but we have almost 6,000 views on the careers. We also have, under just SONAPA, sort of an awareness campaign, 30,000 views. Something that I learned when I was mayor is called the ABCs of politics. And ABC is always be campaigning. And this applies to your restaurant as well, and recruiting. We're always running these ads. Well, I say always, we have them produced. And since May, we've been running these ads. And again, I think this has helped us tremendously with our recruiting efforts. Something else that we've done, and because of working with Donald Burns, I've learned how to work more on my business and not in my business. But as restaurant owners, I'm sure every one of us has been bombarded with supporting local schools, athletics, golf tournaments. So we created the T3 Foundation. And again, that's based on our company slogan of Taste, Toast, Together. And we established this to help our employees, which we've since expanded to helping employees in the hospitality industry, offering financial support and supplemental income during unforeseen hardships. We founded it. We now have a governing board. It's a 501(c), and we're committed to serving employees in the hospitality industry. This is a benefit for both recruiting and retention. And I can tell you, since we started this, I think we raised roughly $75,000 over the course of the last year from doing a major event, doing wine dinners. Let's see what else. We've done luncheons. But it's, again, a benefit recruiting and retention. We've bought vehicles. We've covered auto expenses, such as car registration, car tires. We've granted money for apartment deposits, medical bills, dental bills, and college tuition. But it's something, instead of giving money to all the different charities, we decided, let's create a charity of our own to support our own employees. And that's grown to sort of the areas that we do business in. All right, so up to now, we've touched on the mindset, as in my mindset or owner's mindset, the culture. We talk about recruiting, pay, benefits, and now we're getting into the hiring. And that starts with using behavioral-based questions, and you sort of balance that with maybe some typical industry questions. But you want to ask some open questions, like, tell me about a time when it was hard for you to be on time. How did you handle it? And does the applicant come up with an excuse, or do they place a high value on punctuality? Or tell me about a time when you had to handle a difficult customer. Listen for those detailed responses. What was the action taken? What was the outcome? And probe a little bit further if they provide a vague or superficial answer. This is going to help you get a clear picture of a candidate's behaviors and their skills. You can kind of understand how a candidate handled service challenges in the past, may provide insights into their ability to handle situations in the future. Also, these questions can identify their ability to think on their feet, to solve problems. It will also assess how well the candidate will work in a team environment. Bottom line, behavioral-based questions can help gauge whether or not a candidate's values and behavior align with your restaurant's culture. All right, so then you have onboarding. And I can tell you how onboarding has typically been done and how it should be done. Let's say typical, 3 p.m. on a Tuesday, I'm putting away a liquor order, phone's ringing for a reservation. I answer it to take the reservation. Someone walks through the front door. I acknowledge them. I finish the phone call, take down the reservation, and then talk to the individual. Can I help you? Yeah, I'm John. I'm a new kitchen employee. Okay, John, what were you hired for? He goes, I think I was hired for dishwasher. When I spoke to your manager yesterday, he said, just come in today and get started. All right, have you done any of the paperwork? No. All right, well, listen, follow me. I introduce him to our chef, Brent, tell him, hey, walk this guy around the kitchen, introduce him to everybody, get him a hat, get him a t-shirt, and get him started. I got to go ahead and get this liquor order put away. And we open at 4 o'clock. And then I never reconnect with John. And then it's about 8:30. John asks, hey, how do I clock in? And what am I getting paid? I'm like, fuck, well, John, write it down. I'll have my manager take care of it tomorrow. And then John asks, well, how late am I working today? And what's my schedule for the rest of the week? I mean, that's happened so many times. And it's just so unprofessional. And how onboarding should be done is welcome by a manager, should have a new employee welcome kit. The employee should have already received an employee number and a schedule, and have an onboarding checklist, because first impressions make a difference. Having a trainer who's aware with training materials that are available, expectations for training, such as a signed job description, having the culture card and a list of the non-negotiables, and then making sure that there's follow-up with a manager. That's how you professionally onboard somebody. And then once you onboard them, then the training begins. And it should follow a 70-20-10 training, 70% of which is the hands-on. It's the typical following. It's what we do typically in the restaurant industry. 20% should be management follow-up on a daily basis. And then 10% is video. Currently, we use online Google Classroom, and then we'll do YouTube ads, or not YouTube ad, we do YouTube videos, and then we post them to our scheduling app. We use Sling as a scheduling app, and we're able to email all our employees through that. So, and think of doing a pre-shift meeting. If you stagger employees in, you can simply do a video, post it to the scheduling app for the employees that are making their way in for that day. And again, this kind of all goes into the TikTok revolution. Video shorts, make sure they're educational. And I think that video and online training is going to become more prevalent in the next few years. And then I did mention that money is critical for the initial attraction for a job. If you want to attract top talent, you have to pay for it. But to keep them, you've got to offer opportunities for learning, advancement, and meaningful contribution. And all of our leaders take part in the Accelerator program. We've been doing this for probably just under a year. And I think of this like a movie that recently came out, Boys in a Boat. You got 8 men on a crew, and they train to get their rowing swing in sync with fast pace. In the movie, they win the 1936 Olympics because they're all working together. And it's kind of the same thing with our managers. We go through coaching. We have webinars, the TRC method, the Vault, and restaurant growth. And this is for all of our leadership team, store management, and key employees. We're all working together in our quest for success. And we have we have a learning culture, and we are trying to get to a leading culture. And part of what we do every day is a daily 5 sermon. We always talk about our mission statement. We talk about our vision, our core values, our non-negotiables, and we give words of affirmation, training, 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 and more training. We don't train till they get it right. We train them until they can't get it wrong. We are very wine-centric as a business, so we have creative video courses that we put on Google Classroom, but we also do quarterly training in person. With our kitchen, we go through specific courses based on a food cost boot camp, and the leadership training, as I mentioned, we use the Accelerator program. So, in conclusion, by November of 2023, we were on our 3rd GM, we were on our 3rd front of house manager, and our 2nd chef in our Jacksonville Beach location. I estimate, and I'm telling you without hesitation, it had to cost us about $200,000. Budget-friendly ways to attract and retain top talent was mostly our time and effort. I had to change my mindset. And then, of course, we have the cost of coaching. And we did spend money on some of the things I showed you, creating a career video, money on an Indeed subscription, and very little money on Google Ads. However, if all we do is reduce turnover by 1 employee in each store, all of these costs are covered. And again, 2023, we did 8.6 million in sales with low profitability. Since January and into where we are now, we're targeting 9 million in sales. We have 10 to 12% profitability company-wide. Turnover has been reduced in all 3 locations. And I will leave you with this: leadership sets a tone for culture. It flows down, not up. And if you've enjoyed this presentation and interested in achieving double-digit profits, speak to someone with restaurant growth team support about the Accelerator program, the TRC method, and the 3P framework. And with that, we'll open up to any questions, Luke.
Thank you, Adam. Definitely appreciate going through all that stuff. I love it. Guys, if you have any questions for Adam, now is our time. We got about 10 minutes. So any questions you guys have around the topic we covered today, around budget-friendly ways to attract and retain staff. Adam's got a lot of real-world experience. So please ask away. There's a chat box below. You can go ahead and just put your question in there. Or if you want to actually chat live with your voice, you can just let us know in the chat that you want to be unmuted, and I can unmute you as well, and you can ask a question live. Yav has a really nice question here for us, Adam. Yav's question is, if you can point out the top 3 most important skills for a GM. What are the top 3 skills that come to mind for a GM to run the restaurant successfully?
Yeah, I would say, we're going through with Donald Burns, positive leadership. I think, empathy is certainly one, emotional intelligence, and then having the ability to understand financial results as well, to being able to balance all 3 of those.
I love that. Yav, does that answer your question? Yav, if you've got anything else you want, let us know. Tanya's asking about the price for the program. Tanya, to get a one-on-one restaurant coach, the price is $1,500 a month US. $1,500 a month, and obviously with the guarantee that we have, we guarantee a minimum of a 5% net increase in margin in 90 days or less. So a lot of restaurants will increase their margin much higher than that, but we do have a guarantee that a minimum 5% margin increase. If you don't get a 5% margin increase in 90 days, then we'll work for free with you until you actually do. Obviously, there's work you have to do. There's things you have to actually implement yourself. But the coach is there to hold you accountable, to walk you through how to do all of it. And like Adam's story is pretty incredible. Went from, barely breaking even and just being profitable to 10 to 12% margin on $9 million in sales. So you can do the math there of what that profit
Right.
looks like. So that definitely will pay for itself many, many times over. So Tanya, if you want to sign up for that, I did put a link in the chat. You guys can just go ahead and click that link. There's a place where you can sign up for that. It's $1,500 a month, and it's all month to month. There's no long-term commitments, but definitely, have in your head that you want to commit to doing it for at least 3 months. Most clients do it for a lot longer.
Yeah, and I see that Mark said, do you send a new hire home with a training packet and plan so they know what they're focused on each day? And the answer is absolutely. We send them home with a new hire packet. They know what they're going to get into every day that they're training.
Love that. Guys, any more questions? That's sometimes no questions are good things. I mean, Adam's been nice and thorough. Alex, Brendan, Jane, Javier, Jerry, Ken, Laquan, Matt, Matthew, Mike, Richard, Shauna, Tanya. Guys have any questions? Happy to help you with anything you need. Guys, while you're typing in your questions here, just wanted to share with you on the screen here. This call today is going to be, as always, recorded and placed in your membership area. So if you don't know what I'm talking about by now, this is the membership area for all these webinars. So in the section on the left-hand side here where it says 3P framework and TRC method to increase profit margins to 18% or higher, all of these webinars we've done over the past couple months are right here. There's also probably about 100 other recordings on the left-hand side showing you not just like fluff and BS, but actually step-by-step, A to Z, what buttons to push, how to do things, how to run advertisements. A lot of the stuff that we do for our clients, we recorded exactly how we do it. So if you want to do some of the stuff yourself, go through these modules on the left-hand side. There's a ton of stuff you can implement yourself. If you're wondering where to start, go ahead and take a look at this video here. It's a quick video that I made about getting started. Talks about where to put your priorities. But just to kind of highlight a couple of things here, one thing that a lot of our clients are working on currently is how to get to 1,000 reviews on Google. Kind of goes without saying that the more reviews you have, the more likely you're going to attract new customers when they look at your page. If your restaurant is under 1,000 reviews, watch this training. It would be the first thing I would say to do. And then you can go through all the other stuff as well. Also, guys, in here, it's pretty sweet where this is like a mastermind group, right? So use the community, lean on the community. If you guys have questions about anything at all, you can post here on the wall and somebody is going to be able to help you. Maybe it's me, maybe it's Adam. Somebody else in the community has probably gone through what you're trying to accomplish. So it doesn't matter what it is. Maybe you have a GM who starts dating your hostess. You're like, oh, this is kind of weird. What do I do? You can ask that question there. Someone who's been through that experience before can chime in and give you some pointers. So just make sure you use that to your advantage. You got a good group of restaurant owners to bounce ideas off of. And I also ask all of you as well, if you have experience, go through those posts on the wall there and chime in if you want to contribute and kind of be a leader in this community as well. So with that being said, we've got a couple more questions coming on in here. Yeah, you're very welcome. Tanya's asking, is it unique for any restaurant? Tanya, I think what Tanya's asking is, does it work for any restaurant? Are the techniques unique? Yeah, but Tanya, basically the way the coaching program works is it's a one-on-one program. So you would meet with the coach and they would really understand your challenges, your situations. Are going to go through all of the important things with you and guide you down the path to increase your profitability. It could be a lot of things. It could be from food costing. It could be from your menu design. It could be pricing. Could be P&L. Could be literally hundreds of different things. So yes, it is very unique and tailored for your individual situation, Tanya.
Yeah, and I see Mark says any concept, even cafes and coffee shops. And I know right now, I'm coaching a breakfast restaurant, but we have Marcus, who's another one of our coaches, and he has experience. He was with Starbucks. I think he's coaching about 4 cafes and coffee shops currently. So yes, it works for any concept.
Tanya, let us know if you got any more questions on that. Yeah, you're very welcome. All righty, guys. Got about another minute or so. If you've got any questions, let us know. Otherwise, we'll be here again, same day and time next week. So, Adam, just wanted to, again, thank you for joining today. I love all the stuff you shared. Is there anything else you wanted to end with?
No, I appreciate the opportunity. I hope that some of this information was valuable. I know that it was very well received at the National Restaurant Show. And I hope everyone has a great afternoon and goes into a good weekend.
Awesome. Thank you, Adam. Guys, thanks for joining
Thank you.
today. Appreciate you being here.